Holler if you hear me, and welcome to this edition of Luke Goes Postal, because we got ourselves a little nice thing going up here with that little wax seal, because we got something very, very nice going on, and for that, I've actually got something very nice, or at the very least interesting to say to you. We all remember the great American shriek-in of around 2018, 2019, involving Brie Larson, and pretty much every time she opened her mouth, it was something absolutely insufferable, even before Captain Marvel really came around and irritated everybody and irritated its way through the box office. It turns out we remember the A Wrinkle in Time promotion of her going her head off, talking about, oh, I don't care what a 40-year-old white dude has to say about this, although I'm pretty sure that that's more a matter of either cope or confession through projection, considering that any actress that got any kind of lead roles in Hollywood owes their entire existence to some 40-year-old white dude or more. Just as Jennifer Lawrence when she was on her hands and knees in front of Harvey Weinstein in 2011, or Scarlett Johansson at the age of 10 on her hands and knees in front of Rob Reiner on the set of North. But these are all ugly little facts we all already understand and already know about. And when you go beyond that, you see, if you remember, like me, who, long before it became the great big thing to have anti-woke YouTubers as the big supplement for them hating on The Last Jedi early 2018, once it got around to early 2019, it became all about Brie Larson hate. And, well, it was very much well earned in the way that she was able to go and prove that women in Hollywood really just say whatever it is that they're told to, and that they'll just follow whatever script you tell them. Any sort of script objections they might have, they will wind up shutting up, or it's something that is so obviously staged so that then they can go and have it be echoed all throughout Hollywood to make them have one big virtue signal. And if you want an example of that, it's interesting, out of all the female superhero lead roles, the one in these recent decades that had any kind of real qualifications to play, as in, an action movie superhero female role of any woman who actually knows how to fight or anything like that, was Gal Gadot, Israeli Defense Force veteran, as opposed to Scarlett Johansson, who couldn't kick a football. She did all her best, defining and battling and combating men on her back at the Chateau Marmont. And yeah, Black Widow's supposed to be so great. Well, Wonder Woman, they questioned until eventually, through gritted teeth only by comparison to Captain Marvel failing, did they admit, oh wait, no, DC did something better. And with that, remember, Gal Gadot was the one who then, only after the failure of Justice League, and that finally being the last straw for Joss Whedon and all the crap about him being a male feminist coming forward, was Gal Gadot's story of objecting to a detail of the script in the Whedon reshoots of Justice League that she didn't like and that Whedon threatened her career for. Yeah, things like that. Whoa, Little Miss Larson, on the other hand, no. And why are we bringing her up in the first place? Well, she was doing an interview for a stage play that she's now been getting in because, well, considering that we're not too far away from that famous D23 expo where she was asked if you're going to be in any future Marvel movies, and she said, I don't know, do they want me? Turns out they're now, once again, like what happened with how Disney obviously knew Chadwick Boseman was dying of cancer, was losing his battle with cancer, in the fact that as much as they promoted Black Panther as some monument to societal change, as if a fucking superhero movie was as important as the Montgomery bus boycott or something like that, they knew what was really going down with their lead, and that's why they didn't immediately greenlight a sequel. Yeah, we know that crap already. And with the Captain Marvel, the fact that they didn't immediately have anything else for her, and the fact that the sequel was 5 to 4 years late. Yeah, 4 years late. And the fact that that 4 years late sequel was something that was not all about her. It was all about shuffling her around with some other DEI checkboxes. Yeah, Marvel knew what was up. They knew it was crap. They knew that everything they did, all the ways they promoted the film, was absolutely terrible. And it's actually quite interesting that when you go all the way back to before then, unintentionally, I pretty much have an eidetic memory for Brie Larson's career, because I remember all the way back to years before any of that crap, of either when she won an Oscar for that movie Room, I think it was called, and all the talk show appearances and all the other award shows she went for that. They really tried to build her up as some kind of new Jennifer Lawrence, as trying to make her the down-to-earth, relatable girl who's all giggly and all excitable and all that. And then watching all that quickly be dissolved away once the Disney contract came in, and then comes the insufferable crap that was going on, everything leading up to Captain Marvel. or how even before that, pretty much the most watchable she was having no lines except for the last 5 minutes in Don John, where she basically has a Silent Bob Speaks moment, interestingly aimed at Scarlett Johansson, talking about how she doesn't care about anybody and she has her own agenda. That's actually quite interesting and quite meta when you think about it. Or actually, long before any of the Captain Marvel crap, there was her supporting role in a Mark Wahlberg film that wasn't even an original film. It was a remake called The Gambler. And pretty much every time she was on screen, I was cringing in pain. It was almost like a prototype for how I'm guessing Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers was when it came to watching Captain Marvel. But now, in the wake of all of that, I'm pretty sure now she is where, at best, Rachel Zegler is going to be within maybe 18 months of the downfall of Captain Marvel completely as a character, and the fact that you immediately had that downfall after that first movie where you brought in Avengers Endgame, and you obviously know that they reshot and re-edited things so that she wasn't the one to save the day at the end, because Kevin Feige clearly had that in mind. And then, if Captain Marvel was such a great box office hit, then why did you shuffle all the details around and make it so that, no, it's not her that disintegrates Thanos at the end? Yeah, we know otherwise. And we also now see in all of this downfall, and with the failure of the Marvels and comments about that since then, we come back to this interview of her doing a stage play, because, well, with Disney pushing you to the moon and making you a girl boss power fantasy, the best you can do after all that fails is to get some indie roles and some indie films, or get some stage play role where some insufferable, horrible, hideous journalist, a journalist who both looks and writes as if she's one of the not ready for She-Hulk writing staff players, is going to come in and start trying to agitate you about, do you think is that society was rejecting because they hate the idea of women being in power roles and all that? And Larson responded with, there is no way I can answer that without getting into some kind of problems. Almost as if now Larson at least has developed enough negative reinforcement when it comes to trying to virtue signal and trying to be some kind of insufferable cunt that pretends that She-Hulk or that The Acolyte were important shows, when no, they were just self-insert fantasies for spoiled brat white women. Yeah, we understand this now, and Larson understands this. That's why that little criminal piece of garbage that belongs in prison, aka a journalist, did not go and get what she wanted, to the point where even Larson's, I believe, publicist came in to intervene in the middle of the interview and tell that lady to shut the hell up and actually have some questions germane to the topic of, oh yes, this actress is here to promote this stage play she's acting in. Yep. Because it used to be that stage plays like that were what ditzy, vapid actresses like Natalie Portman or Scarlett Johansson were going to do on the side in between movies, where they shook their tits and ass for the camera so that they could convince themselves that they had an audience and that they actually had acting ability, when really it was a matter of just being one big cope for them, being ditzes, and also for greedy theater productions and theater companies and theater owners to know, hey, the in vogue it girl of Hollywood is going to be shaking her ass on stage, so I know I'm going to get some ticket sales for there. But that sort of greed factor, that sort of understanding, and the way that greed factor can lead to an actress, one direction or another, have a career that goes up and down. If anything, this is now another positive addition to the Brie Larson redemption arc. Okay, the fact of, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. In this case, for all much about how she didn't need a 40-year-old white dude, it was an over 40-year-old white dude that gaveth her big super force her everywhere in the publicity department stardom, and now taketh away, and she's grateful to be in a stage play. And that's not my opinion. I know I'm right. So I thank you for watching. Subscribe so my channel hits 10,000 subs. Become a member today and shop in my art store at the second link below, where you can buy my art, you can commission me, or you can donate to me directly. And until then, felines, slam it, lick it, suck it, and see you, Space Cowboy.